Wow. Just wow. What a fight and what a crazy, crazy result. Fabio Wardley versus Joseph Parker. Were we expecting that? I don't think we were, right? Some may have been, but the majority of people were definitely not. And we are going to talk about it today because it's very interesting. And I'll say this, that fight has spiced the heavyweight division up more than you could think. So, let's get into it. Okay, wow. An incredible fight between Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley. Just insane, right? First of all, the fight itself was a brilliant fight, right? It was a brilliant fight between two heavyweights who put on a show, right? The card, not every fight was putting on the show that people may have wanted, but the main event, they put it on. And if people knew how good of a fight it would have been, more tickets would have been sold and more pay-per-views would have been sold. But unfortunately, that's the only thing you can't do, is predict how good of a fight it will be. But I'll tell you, it was a good fight. But Fabio Wardley defeats Joseph Parker. Yes, I'm saying that correctly. And first of all, I was shocked by the result. I thought it would be a Joseph Parker victory. I said by decision. Some even said by knockout. Hamza Shiraz before the fight said Joseph Parker in 6 rounds. He is with Andy Lee, so that makes a bit more sense why he's saying that. But I'll tell you this, not many people actually believed with their full brain that Fabio Wardley would do that to Joseph Parker and defeat him somehow. Now, let's talk a bit about the stoppage. Of course, some people say it was a bit early. I do agree that it was a bit early, but I do think that there was still a minute left in the round. If not then, 30 seconds later, it probably may have been over. And don't take anything away from him, because first of all, it's not his decision, and second of all, he fought a very good fight. And it was the same in the second round. If the mouthguard didn't fall out in the second round, I think we would have seen a Fabio Wardley stoppage in the second round. So it was similar to that, but the mouthguard didn't go out, and in the end, he got that stoppage victory. And it's disappointing for Joseph Parker, right? I still think he fought a good fight. He was winning on the scorecards, in my opinion, and in almost everyone's opinion. But that doesn't matter in a fight against Fabio Wardley. What matters is not getting stopped, not getting knocked out. And he didn't get knocked out, but he got stopped. And whether it was early or not, it happened. And Fabio Wardley can do that throughout the fight, back and forth. Both guys have very, very good chins, and respect to both of them because they went to war then. And I can't wait to see both of them back in the ring, Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley. So let's talk about who they should fight next. Okay, Fabio Wardley, who should he fight next? Well, the winner of this fight was said to get Usyk, so it's only right Fabio Wardley ends up fighting Usyk next year. It's deserved, right? Some may say, oh, he's not going to beat Usyk. It don't matter. This was, whoever won this fight would get Usyk. That was what it was printed at, so that's what it should be. Fabio Wardley should be the next one to get Alexander Usyk. And I bet Usyk watching that fight was a little surprised that it was Fabio Wardley. And everyone's been saying, Parker next for Usyk, Parker next for Usyk. Well, not anymore. It's Fabio Wardley. A guy who was at British level 2 years ago. A guy, I know everyone says it, but started with white collar at the age of 20, is now going to fight the greatest right now and one of the greats of all time, Alexander Usyk. And it's deserved, right? The grit, the courage that Fabio Wardley has. He deserves this fight. No one else. No rematch. No Ajit Kabayel. It's got to be Usyk. Okay, so Joseph Parker, I hope he doesn't retire because he's still got a good few fights left in him. He's 33 years old and he'll come back off of this, right? It was a controversial decision, so he'll be back and it won't look bad when he's back, right? Personally, who should you match him up against? Well, there could be a few options. Maybe you could go with a fighter like a Makhmudov sort of name. You could go with an F.A. Jagba sort of, higher up in the rankings, top 10 ranked guy. Maybe a Lawrence Okoli, someone like that. But he can definitely get back up in the rankings, and I'm still cannot wait to see Joseph Parker back in the ring. I mean, overall, right, the heavyweight division is so spicy right now. Frank was doing a sort of thing with the heavyweight fighters where loads of them were upstage. You had Dubois, you had Okoli, you had Itoma, you had... Who else was there? There was Derek Chisora and Dillian White, who are going to end up fighting in December. I don't totally agree with that one. Derek Chisora is still a proper active fighter, but in terms of Dillian White, he is not the best right now. I don't think Dillian White should fight again. But that is a topic for another video when that fight does get announced. Jarrell Miller was there as well. You had David Adelaide, you had all these fighters, and they are all basically for Queensbury Promotions, the home of heavyweight boxing, and heavyweight boxing is at all-time high right now, and it makes sense, man. It makes sense. It's just every fight is a banger after banger after banger. We've got Ajit Kabayel fighting in January. We've got Itoma possibly fighting in December. Derek Chisora is fighting in December. Daniel Dubois is fighting Frank Sanchez. I think that's going to be around the start of next year. So this is going to be very good. Very good. And some huge heavyweight fights coming up. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video on Fabio Wardley versus Joseph Parker. A shocking win, in my opinion, for Fabio Wardley, but well deserved. And I was on the edge of my seat during that fight, and the result had me up and down, going crazy, and it was the middle of the night. So, yeah, that was something special, and that is something only British heavyweight fights do. Or, you know what, just British fights in general, because we've got Eubank Ben in November. I'm going to that. That's going to be great. We got a good fight night next week with Boatsi Parker. British boxing is elite right now. And the Britain fighters are taking over the heavyweight division. Fabio Wardley, in my opinion, in most eyes, in the Box Rec rankings, number 2 heavyweight. So deserved, and rightfully so, right? You could say Ajit Kabayel, but personally, if you beat Joseph Parker, who already was number 2, or even number 3, you become number 2. Ajit Kabayel hasn't beat anyone to make him worthy of that number 2 spot yet, but he will come up in the rankings as well, and he could face Usyk as well. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.